Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode in the series. Episode number 139, I believe. We're a long way into this journey now, but we are committed to completing it. I'm now 80 years old in-game, with a 4-star reputation. The reputation's had a nice little boost with the work that we've done with Vejgaard. Of course, we are the manager here now of FC Copenhagen, or København, and we're doing as expected to do, really. We said last episode that the league was going to be a little bit of a walkover, and it's proven that way. So yeah, things have gone exactly as we expected here in Denmark. We're yet to lose a game here in Denmark. Of course, you were here for that fantastic walkover of Brøndby on the opening day of the season. Fantastic 3-0 win. We followed that up against defending champions in AGF though, and it was a disappointing 0-0 to be fair. Although we deserved to win, we did play much better in this game. And we definitely deserve to win. But before I go through the rest of the game, we'll have a look at the transfers first, because you're going to see some names in here that you don't recognise. Of course, we went over the ones who we were going to bring in at the end of the last episode. One of them hasn't come, and that's because Gendris hasn't left. We had to accept the bids because it met his minimum fee release clause, including to the club that he wanted to go to, which was Roma. And then he decided to stay, and I tried offering him out. But nobody else came back in with a bid that met his minimum release clause, so he's still here. Because of that, and because he was leaving, we signed a left back, and that took up some of my funds, which meant that I couldn't sign the striker who I was looking at, and he's the one who I really wanted to get more than any of the others. So we kind of left ourselves stuck with Gubani, but then Gubani has picked up a big injury. 6 weeks to 3 months. It was a lot more than that to start with. It'll tell me so. He's been out for 2 months so far, with a damaged Achilles tendon. So we had to go back into the market for a striker, and we ended up bringing in one in loan. That's all we could do. We have got some players joining when their contracts expire. I want to say, yes, we do. Antonio Capocco is one. He's a goalkeeper, backup goalkeeper. He's one who's leaving. Wayne McCarthy is another one who's leaving. He's coming in from Benfica. Going to Benfica, I beg your pardon. He is leaving again at the end of his contract, unfortunately. It was more about getting them off the wage budget, really, and I was quite happy for them to go. In terms of the ins, though, the ones that you've seen, Mattis Matern was not one of my signings. He was brought in by the previous manager, so he's not mine. He's not even registered for competition. He's quite far down the pecking order. Might just be one to move on, but he came in for free. So you've seen Kwon Jin Soo, and you haven't seen Nabrera. You've only seen Jin Soo. He's the one who's arrived, the Korean. We had a look at him last episode, didn't we? He has now arrived for 3.7 million. Has the South Korean, 26 years old. He's got one cap for South Korea. He's a decent player. He's very good. He's much better than anything that we had at Vejgaard. And he's done quite well in his 7 games so far, 2 off the bench. Picked up 2 assists and a 7.07, so he's doing okay. He is doing okay. The next one in was the left back, and it is Nobrega. He is a Portuguese 27-year-old left back, and he's very good. He is very good indeed. He's on a 7.04 so far from the 10 games he's played. His value's already increased. We bought him in for 4.8 million. So his value's almost tripled in that time. Brought him in from Parma. If we compare him to Gendris, who was obviously in the Media Dream 11, I think he's actually a better player. I do think he's a better defensive wing-back. He's quicker. He's better physically and mentally. He's better at defending. Not quite so good going forward or aerially. But, you know, I think he's a better player. I really do think he's a better player. And I think it was a good signing, to be honest. He's on a lot of money, though, £43,000 a week, which is a lot. But Gendris is still here, like I say. He can play midfield, though, Gendris, so that's something of a bonus, really. So the striker that we've brought in is Semir Svajic. He's coming on loan from Ajax for a 1.4 million total in fees. Decent striker. You know, he's injured at the minute, though. He's 3 to 5 months, which, you know, doesn't help. So we're pretty much playing reserves as the strikers as things stand, because I've got no money left. But he had a decent start in the Superliga. 6 starts, 3 goals and 2 assists and a 7.15. Then picked up this injury. for 3 to 5 months. I can't terminate his loan because I'm outside the transfer window. I might look to terminate his loan. 32 years old. I think we're paying all of his wages as well. We are, plus a fee. Plus there's an optional... I think there's an optional fee at the end of it as well, unfortunately. So he's costing us a lot of money and he's injured for quite a while. But one I was quite pleased with was Henry Bessie. He's coming on a free transfer. He's a Frenchman, formerly of Monaco. Inside forward on that left-hand side at 26-year-old. We do have the Brazilian who plays out there, Carlos dos Reis. I think he's Brazilian. He is Brazilian, but he's getting on a bit. Attributes are starting to decline. He's not great at finishing for an inside forward. Whereas Henry Bessie is naturally an inside forward on attack. And you know what? He's really bloody good, isn't he? He's quick. He can finish. He can pick out a pass. You know, he's got good vision. He's good off the ball. He's got flair, composure, anticipation. He has been injured. It's a bit of a theme. But he's played 4 games. He's got 2 goals and 3 assists and a 7.65 rating. And he cost us nothing. He's on £50,000 a week, which, yes, is a lot of money. But he's valued between 20 and 24 million, which for a free signing is pretty good. He's been a bit of a journeyman in his career, though. Obviously, he's been out on loan to a lot of clubs over the course of his career. Started at Monaco, though. Not sure if he did actually play. He got into the Monaco first team in the last 2 seasons and had some pretty good seasons as well, with a 7.45 and a 7.41 in League 1 is pretty decent. There has been a few outs as well, mostly on loan. A couple of transfers, not a lot of money. 20k for Jonas Tinganga, very much a second string player. We've sold him to Sondisk and he's gone into their second team, which tells you the quality of the man. Financially, though, we're doing pretty well still. 8 million. I have obviously spent a lot of money on transfers. You can see that we've spent with 10.8 million in the whole this season so far. There is money coming in through the door, though. We're getting money in for, obviously, League and Europe as well. Back to the schedule, though. We followed up that 0-0 with AGF against Esbjerg. A 2-0 win in this one. Is it Esbjerg? I don't know about the J. We'll go with Esbjerg. 2-0 in this one. Luis Alcivar with both the goals. Now, he's the current starting striker due to the injury problems we've got at the club. Although he's injured himself. Back to full training in 4 days. He's not great, but he has made 2 starts and scored 2 goals. So he's doing pretty well for us. And he's very, very determined, which I do like. 19 years old, though, can still improve. So he bagged the double in that one. Dominant performance over Esbjerg. It was then a 0-0 again against Nordsjælland. Now, Nordsjælland is our derby. It is our derby. They offered absolutely nothing. 2 shots, none on target, and 0.2 xG. We had 15 shots and did not find the back of the net. It was Charson starting up front for this one, another young Colombian. Slightly better as a forward than Alcivar. He's made 1 start and got no goals. He has scored in the Europa League, though, which is good. He's probably going to be my starting striker going forward until I can either sell some players or I've got some injuries coming back. AAB were next, 2-0 in this one. Fantastic win. Svahic and Bessie, this was their debuts, both of them at the same time. And Bessie's provided an assist and scored a goal. And Svahic has got himself a goal as well. Another dominant performance over AGF and 0.02 xG for AGF. We were really good in this one. As you'd expect, you know, we are the best team in the country. Midtjylland were next. 4-2 over Midtjylland. Svahic, Zakiri Yapi-Yapo, Kasper Norgard and Bo Bangsbo with the goals. In another pretty dominant performance, Midtjylland did have their chances, and as you can see, they have scored 2 goals through Siander Prince and Fabricio Milhazes. Yep, they got 2 goals. Bo Bangsbo picked up the man of the match in this one. Another good performance. 5-0 over Silkeborg. Now, at the time of this game, Silkeborg were in 2nd place in the table. But Semir Svahic, Yapi-Yapo again, Carlos dos Reis, Razak Kokasa, and a Per Nelson own goal in the 85th minute rounded off a dominant performance over Silkeborg. OB were next up, a 1-0 win in this one. Kokasa with the only goal of the game. In the 48th minute, you can see that the injuries that we're picking up throughout these games. With 30 shots, with 11 on target, we scored 1. which, you know, just tells you how dominant we're being without putting the ball in the back of the net, unfortunately. We then kicked off our Europa League campaign, and it was away to Real San Sebastian. A very disappointing 1-0 defeat on the road. Lewis Baldock with the only goal of the game in the 84th minute. We had our chances. In fact, we had more than our chances. We were the better team by far. And it was disappointing not to win the game. League-wise, though, Vejgaard, next up, Vejgaard FF, a 1-0 win. Own goal, took an own goal. Mikkel Hansen, own goal in the 6th minute. But again, we've dominated the game. And we've failed to put the chances away. But we've picked up another injury. Luis Alcivar, again, with the injury. I think that's the one that he's still coming back from. It was Esbjerg again, 2-0. Another great performance. Daniel Rivera, Razak Kakasa with the goals in this one. In another absolute battering. Yapi Yapo picking up the man of the match. Lyngby, 3-0. Another comfortable win. Kakasa, Besse and Rivera on the score sheet. 25 shots again. You know, it's just the way it is. And then the most recent game was against PSV in the Europa League, where we've won 4-3. Kakasa, Chasson and Gendris with the goals in the first half. Alcivar got one in the second half, but Barbosa, Samuel and Peter van der Veen got another consolation goal for PSV in the 92nd minute. But again, this was a very even game. It was end-to-end stuff. It was great. The Breakers picked up a slight injury in this one as well. We were just starting to look tired. We are starting to look tired. So where that leaves us, as you'd expect, is comfortably at the top of the table. 8 points clear with the game in hand over Midtjylland. Things are going exactly as we expected. We've conceded 2 goals in 11 games in the league. Scored 23, so we're scoring 2 a game. Conceding 1 every 6 games at the minute. We're dominating. You know, as you would expect. Form team, 15 games without losing. Games without conceding is now up to 5. You know, it is it's dominant. It is dominant. We've got the highest number of shots, expected goals, shots on target. You know, open play, key passes were up there, assists, progressive passes, team goals. We don't have the top scorer though. We don't have the top. That's Luis Manuel from Bromby. Our top scorer is actually our right winger in Kakasa, and he's only got 4. Today though, guys, we are taking on our former team, Vejgaard. As you can see, they are rooted to the bottom of the table though, unfortunately. They do have 2 games in hand over OB and Lyngby ahead of them, so hopefully they can make up some of that ground. They've not really hit the ground running. They've only just put their manager in place. He's only been there 3 games. So yeah, not great for Vejgaard. It's not what I expected. They have picked up a win over OB. A few draws in there as well against Esbjerg, AAB, Viborg, but the rest of them have been defeats rather disappointingly. And coming up against us today as well, it's probably going to be another defeat. But we had to play Vejgaard, didn't we? With the journey I took Vejgaard on, we had to. In terms of the lineup that we're going to go with for today, though, it's going to be, thanks to injuries, thanks to injuries, it's going to be Haaland in goal. Great goalkeeper is Haaland. He's, like I say, he's got 10 clean sheets now so far in the league this season. Jenis as the right back, he's very much a backup right back, the Israeli, 32 years old, but he's playing there for today's game. I do believe that we've possibly, Campos Ribeiro's been coming back from an injury. He's not quite fully fit, so yeah, we're not, actually we can play a rotated side, I think, against Vejgaard. We'll be fine. Going to be Bentner Spork playing in central defence today. 24-year-old, he's transfer listed, but he's more than capable of playing there in that position for us today. Alongside Dupont, continues to be a fantastic centre-half for us at 28 years old. Gendris, like I say, is still here. He has played a few games as a defensive midfielder, predominantly as a left-back in place of Nebrega when Nebrega's not been around. Good player, really good player. I'm glad he stayed, really. Quinn Ju-Soo, we've already had a look at him. He's had a great season so far. Norgard is the defensive midfielder today. Again, decent player, 26-year-old. Can play as a right back as well, which does help. Bangsbo, another Dane. Some of my Danes are getting on a bit, but again, another good player on £43,000 a week. Probably one of the highest earners at the club, but in terms of playing as a Segundo Volante on attack, he's really good. He is really good. Concentration and finishing let him down, but that's it. Wingers is going to be Besse on the left-hand side. It's going to be Dos Reis on the right-hand side in place of Kitbasher for today, he's not really ready to play this game. And up top it's going to be Chasson. Hopefully he can bag himself a goal in the league, but he's going to get the start today. So, Vejgaard. Let's see if we can beat our former team. We should beat our former team. They are rooted to the bottom of the table. And we are unbeaten so far in this league campaign. So it should be really much done and dusted, this game, if we're being honest. In terms of their lineup, they've got Pellegrini, Liam Lavelle. He's one who I brought in on loan for them. A very good player on loan from Tottenham. These are all my players. Obviously, De Keyser, Otterson, Melander Post is mine. Olafsson, Sabe and Brunel. All mine. They're playing Skovgaard in goal, though, which I was a little bit surprised about. But they're all my signings there at Vejgaard. And we do have the first highlight, and it's a free kick to be taken by Bangsbo. It's hit the top of the crossbar, and Brunel helps it clear. Lavelle helps it even further on. Good early start, though, there by Copenhagen. But watch this be the game that we drop points in. It's just written in the stars, isn't it? Me going back to Vejgaard. We'll drop points in it, 100% guaranteed. We do have the corner, though. It's going to be Besse to take it. It's towards that near post. It's a good header at that near post by Bentner Spork. Gendris keeps the ball alive, though. Finds Kwon Jin Soo back inside the penalty area. He's tackled by Melander Post. It's a good tackle there by Melander Post. Really good tackle by a centre forward as well. Of course, he is playing on that left-hand side now for Vejgaard. They've reverted back to a 4-4-2 formation. And it's Pellegrini with the corner for them. It's Melander Post who gets a head on the ball. They've hit the post now. The crossbar, beg your pardon. So Vejgaard are posing a threat here to us. But we should. The quality of our players compared to theirs, we should have far too much for them. It's Bentner Spork finding Norgard. Now Kwon Jin Soo. He's got runners ahead of him. Finds Dos Reis. Jennis. Ball forward to Kwon Jin Soo again. It's a wasted effort. Wasted effort by the South Korean there. And at the half-time break, rather surprisingly, it's still 0-0. Against bottom of the table, Vejgaard. A team who should not be in this division. They're there because we put them there. If they were AI managers, they'd be in non-league football now in Denmark. And into the final 15 minutes of the game, guys. It's still 0-0. Unbelievably, it's still 0-0. Vejgaard have had the chances, and it's Pellegrini with the free kick for Vejgaard. It's headed clear by Gendris, who's had a bit of a poor game, really, but I haven't gotten a breaker on the bench. Gendris, looking to drive forward, though, comes inside to Norgard instead. Ball over the top towards Besse. This is the chance. Besse puts it wide. A shocking finish by the Frenchman there. We've not played well in this game at all. And it's 0-0. Bravo to Vejgaard. Bravo to Vejgaard. There got Emil Skovgaard. I did say at the start of the match, why is he playing in goal? But he's actually picked up the man of the match performance. We were poor. Chasson, Dos Reis, Gendris. Gendris picked up to 6.4 in the end. Our midfield's the only one in that, and the goalkeeper possibly can hold their heads up high. But Vejgaard have hit the target more than us as well. If they can play like that for the rest of the season, then they can stay up. They can stay up. That was a disappointing disappointing draw, though, to Vejgaard. But still, we're unbeaten, which is the important thing. That's what I'm aiming for this season. So we're 9 points clear at the top of the table from Midtjylland. We've all played the same amount of games now. And just like that, look, there's some more. This is what I say about the money in Denmark. It's crazy. We've been given 2.9 million just for being top of the table, a third of the way through. The money's crazy in Denmark in the top two divisions. It's really, really good. I don't know why. I've got no idea why. They've just given us 3 million for being top of the table, and that's boosted us back over 10 million, which is great. So, end of the episode, guys. Top of the table, 9 points clear, yet to lose a game. Should be a walkover. Should really be a walkover for the rest of the season. Obviously, we're going to come back at the end of the preliminary phase. We'll come back when the league splits into two. And we'll see just how far clear of Midtjylland we are, and AGF as well. They were in a bit of poor form, 4 draws in the last 5, but we should be well clear of them by then, hopefully. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Please, as always, remember to hit that like button for me and the subscribe button. Like I always say, guys, it really does help me out massively. It's not, it can't be underestimated just how much it does help me out. The more of you who like it, the more people see it, the more people come and watch it, and then the more people who like it. It's exponential, and it's great, and I love to see it. So thank you very much for it from the bottom of my heart, really, guys. Thank you. But I will see you all in the next episode. So take it easy, guys. Catch you later.